What are your legit reasons to not have kids? Pregnancy changes the body a whole lot. The whole process isn't easy. Also, relationships/marriage goes to shit most of the time nowadays, and I don't want to have the extra burden on a human on me. Women are left to take care of the kids while the man moves on to whoever is next. I don't want that for myself. To me, it's beyond selfish to have experienced the pains of life, and then turn around and bring someone else in the world to experience it all on their own. No matter how close an open family is, there are certain things that life will isolate the individual with. And for that reason, I am anti-children. Hurts too much. Don't think I could live with myself knowing I'm the reason my kid exists. Feels irresponsible to have kids at this point. Almost every metric for quality of life in the state of the government/society/environment are pointing towards, at the very least, a very difficult and stressful future. Why create something that will inevitably suffer due to the choices of past generations? I've struggled with mental illness all my life. I'm doing better now. But I know recovery is forever. And having a child would seriously limit the amount of time I spend on taking care of myself. It would also be very unfair to a child to bring them into the world when I'm not sure I'm going to be able to take good care of them. My fiancé also has a serious health condition that we do not want to pass on to any children. My family's toxic ways. I don't want to bring another human into that mess. I can barely navigate it myself sometimes. Also, my partner and I are just selfish people. Meaning more we care for ourselves and careers, and each other, more than anyone else. Not that we don't care for others, it's just not our top priority. That's not conducive for kids. Do people overestimate eggs? I don't think there is a definitive definition for too much eggs in quad. I am kind of shocked that your weight is not higher. 10 eggs is like 900 calories and 60 grams of protein. People eating that much at breakfast are generally actively looking to add weight, usually muscle. When I am trying to bulk up, I do a 3-egg omelet, only 1 egg yolk, with half an avocado, and that feels like a very high protein breakfast. #X200B. Generally speaking, I think you are correct that 10 eggs in the AM is probably healthier than 2 eggs with 2 slices of bacon, potatoes and toast. The daily recommendation for eggs is 1 egg is a serving. Eggs are a source of cholesterol, so increased egg consumption correlates with heart disease. Same as with steak or hamburger. They're best eaten in moderation. You don't weigh very much for your height, so clearly it's not an issue of eating too much. But it's a good idea to incorporate some produce into your diet and high-protein plant foods. You should also be getting health screened for cholesterol levels. They often check this for you for free if you donate blood. That's the best indicator of whether you're getting too many eggs. A typical serving of eggs is 2 to 3 eggs, which might grow into 4 to 5 in a USA diner that serves massive omelets for breakfast. 3 eggs is about 150 grams, which is about 1/3 of a pound. 6 to 8 eggs is about 2 extra large 1/3 pound hamburgers. Maybe more. That's a massive serving of eggs. You should probably diversify your diet, especially moving toward more vegetables and whole grains. Dump about half those eggs, or more, and replace with lentils. For example, what's a sign that someone grew up poor? Constantly being stressed over money, even when you're doing well. I grew up with a single mother in government housing my entire life. Coming home to the lights being turned off was normal. Waiting until the yet to hit so I could eat was just how life was. Because of this, I constantly live in fear of going back to that life. My wife and I bring in well over 6 figures now, and I'm still paranoid. We're all just a little bad luck away from being poor. Little or no financial literacy. If you grew up poor, chances are you had no one around to teach you about how to manage things like mortgages, large amounts of savings, or how to budget past the point of juggling bills. It sucks because knowing how to do these things is such a useful skill, and can get you out of a lot of difficult situations if you play your cards right. Knowing how to manage money also prevents you from being taken advantage of by people and companies that don't have your best interest at heart. While I'm here, if you identify with this comment, please check out our /poverty finance and our /poverty finance Canada. They're super helpful. Might just be personal experience, but they sit down and appreciate movies more. I find the kids that grew up with the dozens of TV channels and constant theater trips are the ones who get up and do things, chores, talking, making food, during at-home movies. The poor kids that had only a few movies on DVD, or VCR, have a deeper appreciation for the quiet and attentive atmosphere of watching movies at home. Even rewatching movies I've seen before. I don't take them for granted. To clarify, we weren't the poorest family in the world. But the couple of movies we owned were a big deal. What are you starting to like less as you get older? Being alone. I'm 22 and up until recently haven't ever been super social because I never wanted it. Recently got dumped by my live-in girlfriend who cheated on me, and now the only friends I have are my roommates, my brother and his GF. In high school I was social at school but rarely hung out with others, mostly because of work and my home life. I always had a distrust of having a big friend group, and now I'm just lonely. I only work with 2 other people at my job, one being the brother I live with and the other being an older married guy. I have no idea how to make friends as an adult, and it gets incredibly frustrating. The lack of success. When you're younger, then it's okay to work at minimum wage or at some fast food place. But as I get older, then I worry about not having a middle management job or being some top-level salesman who wears fancy suits. And I worry that if I don't start at the bottom and sacrificing everything else in my life, then I'll never get to a successful job. Irrelevant friendships and relationships. Do not waste my time. I'm growing old and I don't want to spend my 20s regretting and missing out on good stuff and people. Complaining. I used to be one of those guys that would try to empathize and say everyone's complaints are valid because the world isn't fair and it's not their fault. But as I get older, I see so many people in self-inflicted trouble, so I have trouble empathizing with them. So now whenever someone complains, my first instinct is to see if they're the cause of their own problem. Everything gets a little bit worse each year. At least in the US. Our government, media, and corporations are driving us off a cliff. Most people are actually okay though. It's rare that I come across somebody that's as far on either end of the political spectrum as Reddit might make you think. So I guess I like everything less as I get older. Except maybe my family and friends.